Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Farhan, also known as Gunner since 96, and you're watching my matchday preview. It's the big one. Yes, it is. The biggest game of the season. It's Slavia Prague versus Arsenal in the Europa League quarterfinal, second leg. And this is where it all matters. This is the day we've been waiting for. Sheffield United was a nice day out for the boys. They got a very good result, but this is what we've been building up to. That Sheffield United game, there was nothing gained from it, and if we had lost it, there wouldn't have been anything that we would have lost. Okay, other than obviously state the obvious 3 points, but ultimately Arsenal's season is hanging by a thread, and this thread could easily be cut off on Thursday, tomorrow, today. It's nerve-wracking, but it's exciting. It's something we're looking forward to. Like Arteta keeps saying, we are treating these games like a cup final. You know, every European game is like a cup final because Arsenal cannot afford to trip up. You know, we need to get to the final and we need to win this competition. And if we don't, then we risk potentially entering the Europa League conference competition. Oh, boy. Oh, dear me. I'm yet to talk about that. I'm yet to give my feelings, but I'm going to hold off because I don't want to, I don't want to manifest something which I really don't want to happen. And I'm just hoping that Arsenal do the business. Let's talk about both of the teams going into this game, the confidence, the form, what each team are going to be feeling like, how they're going to feel. Let's talk about Slavia Prague. Now, Slavia Prague beat Sparta Prague 2-0 in the league. Their closest rivals, Sparta sit second. They're first. They're now, I think, 17 points clear. Something ridiculous, undefeated in the league. This is probably the year where they will win the Czech league without losing a single game. They will most likely become invincibles. And this is one of the furthest they've been in a European competition. I don't know a time where they've been, on the brink of making a semi-final. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on Slavia Prague history. I've done a bit of homework, but as far as I know, they have overachieved this season in terms of European goals and expectations. But they will be going into the second leg very, very confident. They'll be going into that leg with a win in mind, nothing more. No trying to scrape a draw to get into extra time and then penalties. No, damage limitation because they don't need to. None of that. They go into this game with the same chance of winning the game as Arsenal do. And having won that game against Sparta 2-0 in the league on the weekend will give them massive amounts of confidence. Not to mention having back the man who I refuse to name because of the allegations going around with UEFA not having done anything. This game is set up really with so many different angles. I mean, there's the football aspect of things. There's the racism aspect side of things as well. We're yet to hear anything from UEFA. Last we heard is that they're investigating. This guy will be back to play, and it's gonna be interesting to say the least. I mean, I've heard from a couple of their fans that he is a very crucial player for their squad in the heart of midfield. He allows them to tick better. He allows them to flow better. He glues the midfield together. Okay, now, we had a good opportunity to have a look at them in the first leg, and it was quite underwhelming, I have to say. I was very surprised to see Slavia Prague give Arsenal so much respect. I think Arsenal, if they're playing any opponent and if they want to get a result, if there's a possible chance of getting a result from any of the big teams left in the Europa League, it's Arsenal. And they didn't take that chance. They didn't take their chances very well. Arsenal were the dominant side and missed some pretty gilt-edged opportunities. You know, they really should have put the game to bed in that first half. Oh, so I'm reading on Sky Sports that Slavia Prague will again be without their defender. I don't want to name his name. Provisionally suspended for the first leg, but has now been banned for 10 games by UEFA. Wow. When did this come out? This came out today at 3:27. Well, it looks like I'm still playing catch up because we're learning now live here. You guys will probably know this, but he's been given a 10-match ban. Okay. UEFA have done something about it. We have different angles to this game now. He's now going to be ineligible for the next 9 games. Brilliant. They are still going to be without a handful of their defenders. They've only got one centre-back fit. Deli and Havarka will remain absent. Further problems. Olayinka and Sima were both ruled out of Sunday's derby with health problems, but they could return on time. Wow. So, although Slavia Prague will go into this game with a lot of confidence, if they're without Olayinka and Sima, that's going to be a very, very difficult evening. I sit here having read that bit of breaking news, now tipping the scales towards Arsenal's advantage. Let's talk about Arsenal now. Arsenal beat Sheffield United 3-0 on the weekend. Gabby Martinelli was finally released and he took advantage of the game time that he got. He scored a goal. It was absolutely phenomenal. The team performance itself was very positive. Lacazette scored 2 goals, finally scoring a 1-on-1. Granit Xhaka played left back and successfully managed to do so by helping his team keep a clean sheet. Ceballos was incredible. Really, really good. Really bright. Partey, hardworking. Saka went off injured. But it seems as if Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe could be back. And actually they are back. They're training. They're in full training at the minute. But we don't know whether they will be starting. We know that Aubameyang and Odegaard at this point in time, we can't say whether they will be starting or not. We don't even know whether they're fit. They're not even back at training last updated by Arteta at his press conference. So we know we'll be without Tierney Louise for sure. Aubameyang and Odegaard potentially as well. But some positive news coming out from Coney. Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe are back in full training, which means they will be in contention to start tonight. And that's very, very, very important that they do. And it seems with one side having so many injury problems, a guy with a 9-match, 10-match suspension, and another team with players coming back, despite having injury problems of their own, it seems as if this is Arsenal's game to lose. Not many teams have been capable of beating them at home. I think they're undefeated this season. But having said that, this is Arsenal Football Club we're talking about. You know, as much as you want to slate them, as much as you want to criticise Arteta and the boys, you can't take away from the fact that we are one of the best teams in this tournament. Although being bang average in the league, we have a very, very strong squad. Okay, starting lineup, which I'm going to now predict. So tomorrow, despite having the injury problems, I think Arteta will play Leno in goal. On the right, I believe that Bellerin will start. I don't think Chambers will start. I think it's really tough because Chambers had a good performance against Sheffield United. He's been growing stronger and stronger in every week, but I don't think that he's quite ready for the kind of pressure and the kind of intense atmosphere that will be inevitable in tonight's game. I think Bellerin is more experienced in that sense, although Bellerin has many weaknesses in terms of structural ability. Bellerin is the right fit on that right-hand side. Centre-backs, we are going for Gabriel and Holding. Mari had a very good game, but Mari hasn't had as many European games as Gabriel has. I'm still not convinced with Gabriel and Holding at the back, but I think the more they play together, the more they will strike that partnership and start to gel together and get a good sort of strong centre-back pairing relationship going on. Hopefully, you can only hope. Left-hand side, this is the big question. Does Arteta play Xhaka on the left-hand side? Or the obvious choice being Cedric. The goal that we conceded, all 3 goals that were conceded against Liverpool were on that left-hand side when Cedric came on. And also, I'm not actually. I can't remember from the top of my head who played left back in the first leg. Look, in any case, I would like Arteta to play Cedric. I think, again, structurally and someone who's had the more experience on that left-hand side. For this game, you're definitely not looking at making any bold changes. It has to be the stronger starting 11 with the 11 players being at their most comfortable in the positions that they'll be playing in. So, yes, I'm hoping that Cedric plays on the left-hand side. I think that back 4 is the strongest that we can get right now with David Luiz and Tierney out. In midfield, obviously, the most obvious choice is Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey. With Xhaka, you've got a defensively competent, somewhat competent midfielder who covers the centre-back and the left centre-back and the left-back really well when teams hit us on a counter-attack. He has shown that he has the ability to play really well as a covering centre-back or as a covering left-back when in-game management during live game. So that's off the ball, that's positioning himself in different situations. I like him as a player where he's able to place himself in the right place at the right time. Now, the question will be whether he's able to continue on his ball playing ability. That's playing the ball forward, feeding it into the guys up front and playing alongside Partey, striking up a good, well-combined partnership with both players knowing exactly what their roles are. And so Partey, someone who had to, I felt like, play both Xhaka's role and his role against Sheffield United. Did it really well, but looked like he was sort of dying out a little bit as the game went on. I'm hoping that a little bit of pressure is taken off his shoulders and he's able to do what he does best, which is get the ball, play it into the guys up top, also on the ball as well, being able to just comfortably move in and around players, long balls forward, defensive work. But as a box to box, he's brilliant. He's incredible. So I'm just hoping that he has the game of his life, because if he does, we'll have all the opportunities and all the chances in the world to finish the game in the first half. Front 3. So Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe are back, which means obviously I'm hoping that Saka starts on the left-hand side. Emil Smith-Rowe plays in the middle at number 10. But who plays on the left? Do we give Gabby Martinelli the opportunity to really prove himself at the top? No. I don't think so, personally. I think he's still in his developmental stages. I think to play him in this type of game, in this type of atmosphere, environment, with that type of pressure, would be risking it big time. Don't play Martinelli, put him on the bench, bring him on if you need to, and play Pepe on the left-hand side. That's what I would do. Because the times we've seen Pepe shine have been on the left-hand side, where he's more direct, where he's at his most being direct, where he's at his most lethal, most deadliest, being able to run into the box and shoot on sight rather than cutting in and slowing down the momentum. I think that, for me, that front three is a very competent, deadly, sharp front three. Behind obviously the striker, and if Aubameyang's not available, and even if Aubameyang's available, you're banking on Lacazette to start because he scored two goals against Sheffield United. His confidence is going to be sky high, and this really is a game where players like Lacazette need to shine. They need it because they're our most senior players, and they will have the most experience. They will know how to react in these types of games. And so Lacazette, for me, needs to have the game of his life, needs to take the opportunities. And with players like Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, and potentially Pepe playing behind him, Partey and Xhaka as well, there's no reason for him to not get into goal scoring opportunities and not take his chances. And with the defensive problems that they have at the back, this is very much a game where Arsenal could end the tie in the first half. And I'm hoping they do. I'm going to go for a bold scoreline prediction. I'm going to go for a 3-0 victory to Arsenal. I genuinely believe they'll put it to bed, and they have to. Because if they don't, they're out. And they know that. And Arsenal thrive off pressure. They thrive off being at a disadvantage. And I think going into this game, they will be at a disadvantage because they'll know that Slavia Prague will have an away goal. Very similar to, what they would have experienced against West Ham when they were 3-0 down. And the pressure was very much on. They had to respond, and they did. And the same goes for tonight's game. I think Arsenal will respond, and they'll respond very well. And then next round, Villarreal awaits pending results. But that's what I think will happen. We obviously need to wait and see. At this point, I'm just going to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and hit that bell notification to be notified every time I release a video. I'll be back again tomorrow for my post-match reaction, where I will be reacting to hopefully a victory for Arsenal that takes them into the semi-finals, and then discussing that a little bit. If we lose, it will be, all hell will break loose. If we lose, there will be a lot of questions that need answering, and there will be a huge, immense amount of pressure on Arteta. It will be interesting to see how the board respond. It will be interesting to see how the players respond for the remainder of the season. But we're yet to find out obviously what the results will be. So let's stay positive, and let's hope that Arsenal do the business, and then we can have a conversation about Villarreal. But until then, I hope you guys enjoy the game, and I hope we have some good news to talk about and some smiles on screens. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.